Hi, this is Miss Gilbert. I'm going to help you to start your storyboard assignment today. Your background or your canvas can be anything. I use cardboard, back of a pizza box, back of a tissue box. You can even use a paper plate. You can use back of a pizza cardboard also. Okay. The problem is going to be me showing you this, so you're going to have to look at just the materials that I'm working with, okay? Most of you know how to do the pour painting, but we're going to do a review. So what I've done is I've mixed up my glue, water, and I'm using food coloring instead of paint. So I mixed up 1/3 water, 1/3 of glue, and 1/3 of the food coloring. Okay, and I'm going to show you, this is my 1/3 of water. I'm going to add my glue. Make sure you have warm water when you start doing this, okay? If you don't have warm water, it may not mix up as well. Make sure you have something that you can see through so that you can make sure everything is mixed and you don't have clumps in there. And I've used most of my yellow. I made a yellow-orange. I have my primary colors. I have the red, I have my blue, and I have my yellow, which may make my secondary colors, which are green, violet, and orange. So I'm going to add a little bit of green to this one. That's the only color I don't really have, and I'm probably going to be able to make my violet. Just put a little bit of green in there. Okay. So the food coloring, you don't have to add as much as if you're using acrylic paint. If you're using watercolor, you're going to have to use a lot of pigment, which means you need less water when you mix up your paint, okay? The other thing I did was I mixed up my colors. Say I don't have any jars or anything see-through that I can use. Please do not use drinking glasses, okay? Because you may not get all the glue out. Now this is acrylic paint with my glue. Right, and my water. And these are egg cartons. It's an egg carton, okay? You can cut these apart and you still have enough to do a paint to do your pour painting. Just make sure it's mixed up really well. I tried a wonderful experiment. I said, hey, let me use some nail polish. Not a problem, as long as you have glass. Do not use it with plastic or with the egg carton crate because it will eat it up. Science experiment that I didn't want to happen, but it happened. All right, so I'm going to take my cardboard, and the first thing I'm going to do is when you're doing pour painting, you are not layering your food coloring as we did in class. When you do your pour painting with the food coloring, you have to do it separately. So each color is going to have to go on here separately, and I'm just going to kind of pour the colors on here. And you might want to use some kind of glove when you're doing this, if you have them. If you don't, be forewarned, you're going to have food coloring on your hands. You're going to stain your hands, okay? So I'm just pouring my colors on top with the food coloring. I'm going to do one with the acrylic paint in a minute. And I'm doing this, I'm hoping you can see all of what's going on here. Okay, so I'm just kind of pouring on there. I haven't really lifted my page yet. Now remember, with food coloring, if I'm adding all these colors together, I'm going to make a brown. So you don't want to really mix this that much. You just kind of want to move your colors around. I'm almost done because as I'm moving these around, I'm making a brown. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more red to that right here, there. And I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to have to put it under something. I'm going to have to use some books or something to make sure that my cardboard is not going to be turning. So this is what I did earlier. I put it on underneath a book, but I probably need to leave it under there a little bit longer to make it flat so I'm able to work with it. Okay. Blue, and let's see, maybe some more red. allow the extra to soak up in here. It's going to soak up and make this a little bit more. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like the way that's going. I'm going to leave that to the side. You see that? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this to the side. As it dries, I'm going to start pulling it out. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is going to be just with acrylic paint. Okay. So I've got my, let's use this. I'm going to use the paper plate this time. Okay. So these are acrylic paint, 1/3 water, 1/3 acrylic paint, and 1/3 of that is glue. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to pour it in this container so that you can kind of see what's happening with my colors. And this really does work pretty well. I know it looks kind of funky. Be careful with some of these sides of the egg carton crates because they are shorter. So you have a tendency for your paint to kind of drip out. And I don't have as many colors as I would have hoped because, of course, all my supplies are at school. You guys know that. But as you can see, I'm getting kind of a really cool mixture in there. Some light blue. Now, you can do the same thing. You could pour this on top of your canvas and just use that as your pour paint. Or, like we did at school, you can take your canvas and flip your paint on top. Lay it inside. You can move it around. You can just pull it up, right? And then you have your paint. You're going to work this back and forth so that you're covering. And remember, acrylic paint does wash off, so if you get some on your hands, you'll be able to do that. I really love to put some of that gold. I may just put some more gold on there now that it's dripping off. That's kind of neat, though. You guys can see that. Okay. So this is the background for your storyboard. All right. So think about what you're going to put for your pictures on your storyboard. What do you need the background to look like? Since I covered my space before I started, and that's probably something I should have started the video with, I'm just going to pour this on top of here because that space is covered. I'm going to work this around a little bit more. Put some of that on there. I don't have to have it everywhere. Okay. So now I'm going to let this dry. Kind of cool. I like what I got there. And I'm going to continue this. The next video is going to show you how to do the marbling with shaving cream and the food coloring. And then I'm going to show you how to assemble your storyboard. Move everything. Dead dog in the middle of the road. 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 All right, get it done. Sure. Oh, puppy dog. Puppy dog outside. Puppy dog outside.